Strategic thinking isn't just about long-term planning, it's also about the ability to make sound judgments in the moment. In this lesson, we'll practice quick decision-making under pressure, using short, real-world scenarios to apply concepts like risk assessment, prioritization, and adaptability. By the end of this lesson, you'll have a better feel for how strategic thinking plays out in live situations, especially when time and clarity are limited. Let's start simple. Imagine you're leading a meeting when your team suddenly discovers a major supplier won't meet their delivery timeline. Everyone turns to you. What do you do first? Strategic thinking in this moment includes quickly assessing the impact, determining if there's a workaround, and deciding who needs to be informed. This is a test of both fast analysis and calm leadership. In fast-moving decisions, one of the most useful tools is triage, just like in an emergency room. You categorize issues into urgent, important, and deferrable. Suppose your client account is at risk because of a product failure, and at the same time, your CFO asks for input on a budget item for next quarter. The strategic move? Focus on the active fire first. Contain the account risk. Always respond to what impacts value in the present. Now consider the factor of limited information. Strategic leaders often make decisions before they have the full picture. Imagine being told that one of your team members is receiving complaints from a client, but you haven't yet spoken to the client directly. Do you act or wait? Strategic thinking means using context, your past data, and early signals to decide whether to intervene now or collect more. Hesitation costs, overreaction does too. Time pressure is another challenge. Say you're managing a retail launch and a packaging error is spotted 30 minutes before trucks are scheduled to leave. Do you halt distribution or let it move forward and fix it en route? Strategic thinking in real time balances consequences, revenue loss versus brand risk. The ability to pause, run a quick cost-benefit scan, and decide confidently sets effective leaders apart. Let's look at a decision with competing priorities. You're overseeing two projects. One is over budget, the other is behind schedule. Your CEO wants results from both. You can't fix both in 1 week. Strategic thinking means identifying which project delivers impact faster or affects more stakeholders. For example, perhaps the delayed project supports a client launch. In that case, time may beat cost. Choose where the payoff is higher. Emotion often clouds quick decisions. Imagine receiving a scathing email from a partner. You feel defensive and want to reply immediately. Strategic thinking presses pause. You draft a reply but don't send it. Instead, ask yourself, what's the outcome I want? Diffusing emotion and focusing on objectives like preserving the partnership allows you to respond with purpose, not just react. Consider short-term versus long-term thinking. You're offered a large but difficult client project. It will strain your team, but it's worth big revenue. Do you say yes or no? Strategic thinking requires you to weigh not just revenue, but readiness, capacity, and what this project means for future brand reputation. Sometimes, saying no enhances long-term strategic positioning, something not obvious under pressure. Let's test ethical judgment. You notice a competitor has accidentally uploaded proprietary pricing data online. It could give you an edge if used. Strategic thinking includes considering legal and reputational consequences. The fast reaction could be to use the info. The strategic choice may be to report it to the platform and avoid exposure. Remember, integrity affects long-term trust with clients, partners, and regulators. Quick collaboration is another skill. Suppose production stops on a Friday night due to a software issue. You're alone, and the tech lead is off-grid. Strategic thinking might mean calling backup vendors, alerting leadership, and patching together a temporary solution. Being decisive doesn't mean going solo. It means knowing when to call in others and how to align them quickly. Now let's talk limited authority. Say you're mid-level, but see a strategic risk unfolding, like non-compliance in partner operations. You don't have the official role to intervene. Strategic thinking means finding influence without formal power. You could escalate tactfully or gather enough data to prompt senior attention. Fast action under constraints demands creative navigation, not just waiting for permission. Imagine you've made a quick decision, and it backfires. That happens. Strategic thinkers reflect, harvest learning, and adjust. Say you greenlit a vendor without a full background check and now face delays. Strategic recovery might involve renegotiating terms, finding a secondary option, and leading clear internal communication to maintain trust. How you respond matters as much as the initial move. Let's do a rapid-fire challenge. You're about to present to the board when your team informs you the core metric you'll show is inaccurate. You have 5 minutes. Option 1, postpone. Option 2, present. Disclose the data issue and commit to sending corrections. Strategic thinking likely favors transparency and momentum. Don't stall. Lead with credibility, not perfection. Here's another real-time dilemma. You're launching a new policy and face unexpected internal pushback during a rollout meeting. Push forward or pause implementation. Strategy-driven thinking listens, assesses the resistance level, and probes for clarity. If the backlash signals misalignment or critical gaps, adjusting course may protect the bigger goal. Quick doesn't mean inflexible. No decision is free from trade-offs. Strategic leaders know that real-time judgment is often a dance between impact, timing, information, and values. There's no universal script, but there are repeatable habits. Pause briefly, frame the core issue, weigh outcomes, and act intentionally. The goal isn't to be perfect, but to remain directional and adaptive when it matters most. As we wrap up this lesson, remember, real-time decisions test not just what you know, but how you think. Practice, reflection, and self-awareness turn pressure into performance. In our next session, we'll shift beyond scenarios and into the work of building your own strategic vision, where long-term direction meets day-to-day action.